It's November 19th, 2015. Andrea.
Yeah.
David Box.
Yeah.
And our other arch nemesis, Sister Katie.
Hello.
Are you guys feeling American tonight?
I feel American every day.
Because I'll tell you right now, if those Syrian refugees think they're gonna take the rest of the jobs that the Mexican refugees haven't gotten to yet, they got another thing coming, buddy. This is America!
That's very well said.
What does that mean?
Means I'm anti-foreigner, David Box. Don't understand it, don't need it. Alright? I don't want them here. I don't want anything to do with them. This is my land that my grandpappy fought the Injuns for, and we won it fair and square.
Those Injuns.
Yes. From sea to shining sea, this land was bought and paid for in the blood of my ancestors. I will not see it fall to the forces of the Syrian refugees. Fuck, I hadn't planned on where to go from there.
You almost had it.
Mm-hmm.
Syrian refugees, they just don't sound scary.
They sound Syrian.
Everybody everybody is freaking out about it in one way or another. It's another conversation that, like, there's not a room for a sane person in the argument that's being had in most cases.
Yeah.
All I see is just like there's no possible way to ever know anything about any of these people, and we just can't have them here at all. To just, like, if you don't want to have every Syrian refugee here immediately, you're a racist, and you just can't. You shouldn't even have the right to speak. And it's,
well, do you have a better word for those people?
Pragmatic. But I
Go on.
I don't understand the whole thing of, like, how could you possibly oppose bringing Syrian refugees here? Like, well, what do you, really? How could you possibly, like? I don't understand. Like, are we supposed to believe that we have access to some great, like, Syrian records on these people to do background checks with, and there's not going to be any kind of fucking corruption within that? You know what I mean? Like, what?
And all of their certificates and identifications have been notarized before they left the country.
And we're not supposed to believe at this point that, like, the intelligence agencies might purposely bring terrorists in through this system so they can make it look like an accident, you know? And go, oh, well, hey, they fucking snuck in, man. We were just asleep at the wheel again. Same shit as always, you know? So I don't understand either side of it.
How were we supposed to know?
Yeah. I just don't... I don't get it, Andrea. David Box,
okay, so,
where are you at on the refugees? Do you want them in your hometown? Do you want them sleeping at your bed and breakfast?
I got a couple spots for a refugee or two.
Well, David Box, where were you last week? There's plenty of homeless people all over this country, and you're not taking any of them in.
Why don't we help our own first?
Everything's just arguing now. That's fucking exhausting.
Yeah, and everything has the same solution in the end, which is that the people higher up the ladder. Yeah,
okay,
basically, yeah. The people higher up the ladder are the ones responsible, and they've got all of us fighting about it.
Very, very well said.
That was astute.
Eloquent.
So, yeah, of course. I know, and it's fucking exhausting. Like, I was thinking about the other day, because the bar that we live above, I'll go down there, and there's, like, a couple really irritating people that are, like, constantly taking sort of the mainstream left side of things and speaking really loud about it and talking about how anyone that doesn't agree with them is a retard. You know, that whole act. And And it occurred to me the other day, like, there used to be a saying that was talking about the weather, and that was a metaphor for just avoiding serious topics, and kind of making polite conversation and keeping it light. And I realized, like, that's totally impossible now. You even talk, like, the point we've gotten to now with just arguing is if you bring up the weather, somebody will go, oh, yeah, that's normal, right? And can you believe people don't believe in global warming still? And you're just like, and
they've got a machine that controls the weather, right? You ever heard of geographical warfare?
Well,
think that's an accident?
I would talk to that guy. But just the whole, like, baiting thing of, like, yeah, and you believe global warming doesn't exist, and you're like, I don't want to get into it. I don't want to.
No, thank you.
Yeah. So
evolution's just a theory,
It just occurred to me, and then I felt like George Carlin, I'm like, hey, we used to have this thing called talking about the weather. You can't even do that anymore.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You might have a future there.
George
You
Carlin.
might be George Carlin one day.
A drunk, half-assed George Carlin impersonator on the radio when it occurs to me
Yeah.
to think of something.
You just call in. You've got to deal with the radio station. You just call in anytime one comes to you. Great, you guys, wait, it's me.
Hey, did you hear about this fucking big shootout in the suburbs of France that they had with a couple of the suspects from this Paris attack?
Yeah, I heard about that.
No.
One of them was a chick.
Was she?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
allegedly they killed
some hot
most
French
of them.
terrorist chick. Damn.
I saw only one was a confirmed. Absolutely was involved in the
all of
Paris
this shit is
plot.
murky. Like we were talking about before, like immediately people started with the hoax. It's a hoax. This isn't real. This isn't real. And it's like, dude, it doesn't have to not be real for it to be completely controlled and maybe even carried out by intelligence agencies, And it's got all those earmarks.
I mean, even if it's not completely controlled and carried out by intelligence agencies, it could be skewed. Definitely skewed.
Well, at the least, right.
At the least.
But I don't know. This stuff, like the stuff that you see with the immediate war drum, talk from all the politicians and everything, and this weird thing of, like, we always point out the weird kind of inconsistencies with, once in a while an event happens and the media basically cues everyone to get up in arms about it when there's really this kind of stuff going on all over the world all the time, And maybe this is in perspective, this is still a big one. It's like you got to see when it's being sold to you to reinforce your pro-war, sentiment as a citizen, because this is the moneymaker, the war in the Middle East. So they're going to keep doing things to extend it as long as possible.
Yeah, and I think people are eager to kind of victimize themselves and identify with a victim in a terror plot like this. It's easier than saying, it's easier to say there are people who want to far away and I've got my own country there to protect me, versus saying, shit, my own country is trying to hurt me, then there's no one to protect me.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the convenient route of thought for most people to take.
I gotta go get a gun.
Right.
That's going to solve it.
Yeah.
So
I need an assault weapon.
they're also saying...
I feel assaulted.
They're also saying now that... I forget where I read this, but it was that a bunch of the quote-unquote suspects or perpetrators in the Paris attack were French-born. Did you hear that or no?
Yeah, I heard that too. Yeah, but again, I only heard that they've confirmed one more person, and everything else right now is still being speculated. But the one that they killed in this shootout that they have confirmed was involved was French-born.
Okay.
Didn't they find like a Syrian passport like conveniently next to one of the guys?
Oh yeah, we talked about all this.
That's what immediately makes me
I
think.
didn't listen to it.
That's what immediately makes me think, like, this is really shady.
I gotta get a passport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A suit made of who said last week that they want a suit made of passports because they're so indestructible? Who was
I
that?
don't know, was that you, David Box?
I don't know.
It might have been
He
Matt
never
Gear.
remembers. Yeah.
But
But yeah, that was we talked about that too. It's like a red flag of, how did they
He blew his whole self up.
the passport was ejected from the explosion.
Just landed right there.
dude, there's been
All in
some.
one piece.
Yeah, we were calling it the passport gag, and one that I didn't think of last show was what was the name of it? The flight that went down. That they thought
93.
no, they thought the people in Crimea shot it down or something.
Oh yeah.
The Malaysian is whatever it was. Remember when at the crash scene and they showed like a case of like 80 passports in perfect condition. And like, here's the like, what is this?
Yeah.
And it was just a brief shot in it.
Passenger manifesto lying next to it.
Yeah, it was just a brief shot
What are they made out of?
in a news thing, and they never kind of went back to it. It's like, what did I just see that right? Was that they already have everyone's pristine passports? What the fuck is going on here?
Yeah,
so
perfect.
They're just making fun of us now.
But again, I haven't seen anything convincing on the hoax side. Have you, Andrea?
No, I saw a one video today where somebody was trying to debunk the alleyway footage of people fleeing from the concert, and he pointed some things out, like you can't see either end of the alley from the angle that they're at. But he's trying to say that this girl hanging from the window was somehow proof that she was a harness. It's just everything I've seen is such a far stretch, and even the ones that make sense still don't make any sense.
Right. Yeah.
But I have seen an incredible amount of media attention around this event, which is more telling than anything else.
Well, that's what I mean. The inconsistencies. Like, did anyone hear of the thing that happened in Beirut? Just before this? No, I didn't even actually know about it until after the Paris attacks.
Yeah.
And I think like 40 or 50 people were killed in that. That's horrific, right? That's enough people that it should be on the news for a while, I think.
Yeah, but they weren't white.
Right.
So we don't love them the way we love ourselves.
It is just kind of that being able to identify with them a little bit more thing.
Yeah.
And some of us might have gone to France and can identify with that a little bit.
And everybody here, like, French culture is so ingrained in American culture too. Everybody thinks they have some connection. I love French food.
Well, they gave us the Statue of
French
Liberty.
fries.
The Indians my ancestors killed had a French name. Forget what it was.
Who cares? We're American.
Frenchity. French.
Yeah, I remember I always have this argument when a tragedy like this occurs. I remember during the Boston bombing, I got in a big fight with a girl because I pointed out that 2 people died in the Boston bombing, and on the exact same day, the United States bombed a wedding in Yemen and killed like 30 or 40 civilians at a wedding. And I remember pointing that out and people being like, that's not the point. This is your country.
Yeah.
You need to stand by your people. The fuck are you talking about?
That's the main byproduct. The main byproduct of nationalism is just like illogical thought. Just fucking nonsensical rationalization, and it's fucking retarded at this point. That
now
we accept that's called terrorism when they do it to us, and when we kill like however many civilians at a time, huh?
I was just gonna say we're not killing, we're winning the hearts and minds.
Right, but when but it's
we're liberating.
But it's collateral damage. It's all word tricks,
Yeah.
The word terrorism itself, we've said this plenty of times too. It's just like terrorism is only a term they use when they want to invoke a certain fear in your mind. Like they don't use that term in every situation where somebody bombs or attacks something. Sometimes they're militants. Like I said, there's a whole list of other things that they can be called,
Right.
But terrorism has a really special use in our language.
Yeah, and an incredibly broad definition, so they can apply it anywhere they want it to work.
You got it, kid.
Now, the other thing that I've noticed about this too, and I think you were mentioning this earlier, is about how now, as a result of people responding negatively towards Muslims, there seems to be an even bigger push and influx for people to convince people that Muslims are good and loving and we should accept them. And like, there seems to be have you guys noticed this?
Yes.
Like a huge like pro-Muslim movement in the wake of this by non-Muslim people.
But that makes sense, though.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it makes sense for people who are not racist to want to defend a group that's being hated.
It's not a race, though. It's a religion.
Yeah.
It's not. But what I'm saying is they wouldn't be racist.
Yeah, you're right.
For not liking Muslims, but it's just like, what I think is weird about it is a lot of the same people, because it seems to be mostly like how it's shaping up is kind of on the left. They're pro-Muslim now. Is that what's going on, Andrea?
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
And these are a lot of the same people.
Refugee.
Yeah, and these are a lot of the same people that literally hate Christianity, and would never stand up for it for anything in a million years. And I don't give a fuck. I don't like Christianity either. But it's this weird, just socially engineered, disingenuous bullshit. You know, that's just, well, come on, we have to be tolerant of this thing that if we actually broke it down, we wouldn't like at all.
Yeah, because it's the same as Christianity.
Talk about oppressive to women. Sheesh.
Boy.
Yeah. It's weird. It's weird. We've just we've just become a fucking bunch of moronic, bickering blobs, just back and forth in this stupid fucking country. That's why I hate it here now. Really stupid.
All anyone ever wants to do is bicker.
And none of it makes any sense. I don't know. I mean, and it, like, people take it so easily too. I don't know how many people I've overheard in the bars and stuff, just like, I can't believe people don't understand this. I've been trying to explain to them all day. These people are running away from ISIS. The refugees that want to come, and you're like, yeah, of course that's what they say. Like, they're not going to show up there and go, yeah, I was in ISIS. I decided it wasn't that good, so I want to fucking kind of go check out the States for a little while. Like, that's, of course that's the story. They're all running, but it's like, do you not grasp that other people are worried that they could use that story to sneak in as ISIS members?
No, it's airtight. Are you kidding me?
No, they're running from ISIS, you idiot. What are you, stupid and racist?
What, do you want to go over there and see what it's like?
And I'm not even really scared of that. I mean, like, if first of all, this shit is so much more controlled by intelligence agencies than the average person understands. And if they want to fucking have terrorist attacks, there will be terrorist attacks in this country. It'll happen if the right people want it to happen. And if not, if some little fucking cell pops up, they usually get caught really quickly, or they do just a tiny bit of damage, and it's not something to fucking for the whole country to live in fear over. So whatever, I guess.
Well, and as it is, since 2013, the United States has only accepted under 2,000 Syrian refugees. 2,000 in the entire country. They're trying to make it what Obama wants to do, probably because he's a secret Muslim, is that he wants to take in 10,000 of them by the end of next year. But now governors are trying to say, governors of, let's see, over 30 states, governors have said we're not accepting any Syrian refugees.
He just wants to have He just wants to have a bunch of like cool Muslim friends so they can like drive down the highway and all get outside of the car while it's on two wheels for like 4.5 minutes. Have you seen those videos? Dude, have you seen that shit?
What does that even mean?
I think it's called Arab drifting. Dude, look
Holy shit.
Look up Arab drift right now. They're
Put it on the big screen.
insane dudes that fucking get their like car up on two wheels and just control it like stunt driving, you know, driving it on two wheels forever down the highway while like all of their friends jump out and climb around on the outside of the car and just chill and stuff, and they're all like barefoot and everything. It's like, fuck yeah,
Make a bunch of sound.
Arab drifting.
This one is crazy Arab drifting with AK-47s.
Yeah.
Sorry, we have to watch it on my computer so that it doesn't interfere with the sound on the show.
No, that's
Oh,
fine.
it's not. Well,
I need you guys to check this out. I can't believe you've never seen Arab drifting. That's probably what
Hey,
they're...
go ahead.
the sound isn't gonna go to the Skype.
Oh,
So
okay.
I can play this?
Yeah, go ahead.
So
Okay.
you're just gonna hear our reaction.
So,
to it.
so you think that this is the end game? This is what Obama's pushing for?
In my humble and a very American opinion, yes. Andrea,
let's check this
I'm an American. That's all I know how to be. Okay?
Yeah, I understand. I'm
Born
in the
and
same
bred.
boat. Born and bred. USA. This is probably something people in Dubai do. Is
This
that where they
video
are?
is terrible.
This video
They
is
zoomed
really
in
good.
on Saudi Arabia. I don't know. Oh, hey.
All right.
Are you guys watching this? Arab drift?
We're yeah, they're just getting warmed up. It looks like. Oh,
Oh.
what?
Oh no!
That guy's going to tip over.
Nope.
No, he's not.
They're
How are
not.
They, doing
They
it?
never tip over.
How?
What the fuck?
I don't know.
Oh
They're
my
awesome.
God.
How do they learn how to do that? They got it tipped over some point.
Yeah, there's.
When you type in Arab drifting and you'll get like the selection of other things
But
that'll go
dude,
along with it. You'll see Arab drifting crash, Arab drifting death.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They do sometimes, but the vast majority, they're totally fine. And
Dude, they're like hanging out the windows, too.
And they're
It's-
just like on a street.
Yeah.
it's always like really rich looking kids doing it too. They're like fucking like what they do.
They just drove by at like a 45-degree angle, being followed by some cops.
These guys are awesome.
This is
Yeah.
insane. All right, yeah. If I were president, I'd bring a bunch of my Muslim friends here to
Hell yeah.
do this with me. That's insane.
I can see Barack Obama doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's what he's setting up for sure. And him and
right.
they're gonna find out that fucking preacher, what's his name, Jeremiah Wright, he's actually a secret Muslim too. They're all gonna fucking just Arab drift around all the time, just laughing at everybody with their
Holy
dicks out.
shit.
Wearing robes and stuff. Yeah.
Bunch of
These
weird.
guys are so casual.
All right, I as a result of this Arab drifting thing, I am officially in favor of the Syrian refugees.
Yeah.
If our streets could be full of this all the time, I say bring it
These
on.
Oh,
guys
there he
should
goes.
Wow, he's walking. Oh my god.
He's just like
Imagine
sliding on the floor
if
or
they
on the
came
ground.
over and started a taxi service. And they like got up on the sidewalks and shit.
This is the Arab drift
That one
taxi
didn't
service.
make any sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know what this was. Get out of the car.
We'll get you there alive, or you don't have to pay. All
Get
right.
you there alive
Okay.
or
Good
dead as
enough.
shit from falling off of a car that you were outside of when it rolled at 70 miles an hour.
We'll
Yeah,
get you to your destination, dead or alive.
the fail ones are bad. It's just a bunch of
That's my
fucking
Muslim
rag dolls just being flung in every direction.
Hey, how you doing? I'm a Muslim. Assalamu alaikum.
That's your Muslim, Andrea? That's your,
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Hey, I get you called for a cab. Assalamu alaikum to you.
You can't see her, but she's jerking her shoulders up and down while she's speaking.
Oh, Andrea, the Muslim, you're supposed to be driving the cab.
Hey, that's not how we do it over there in the Middle Eastern states. You know what I'm saying? Assalamu alaikum to you.
You don't sound like you're from. Where are you from?
You know, what does it matter? Why are you asking so many questions? I came here from a war.
So
Yeah, that's right.
what's the name
I'm
of
from a war.
what's the name of your what's the name of your holy book?
Oh, my holy book. Well, depends on who you ask. You know,
Did this character just really quickly run out of steam?
It's the
character. Now I'm trying to decide if this character is actually Muslim or Muslim.
Yeah, you're reading the Quran there. That's what I...
All right, we got to redo this Skype call. You guys hang up and call back. I'm going to take a quick break. Guys, are you here?
We're here, yeah. David Box is cramming his maw.
Cramming his maw? That's...
Yeah.
You heard me.
That's
I chose my words carefully.
incest and bestiality. Oh!
Ew, because your mom's a dog.
She's a dog. Anyways, David Box, what are you wearing?
Not a whole lot.
Go on.
Use your mitt. I'm wearing about a quart of grease.
Just greased up from the belly button down, if you know what I'm saying.
Whoa.
Andrea.
Hey.
Katie.
How's it going? Katie's not at her microphone yet.
Oh, all right, whatever.
She wandered off.
Yeah, so where were we at with this whole Syrian crisis?
Let's see. Oh, we've got the over 30 governors that are trying to deny refugees in their states.
The Syrian ISIS.
Stupid.
Over 30 governors of let's see.
Yeah,
Mostly
they're all
to be
saying
southern states.
we don't want your refugees.
Yeah,
Why
made
don't you
official
send them to
statements.
Saudi Arabia? If they're
Yeah,
so
get 'em outta
Muslim.
Most of them actually end up in Turkey.
Yeah.
As of right now, over 4 million Syrians have been displaced, and over 2 million of them have ended up in Turkey. But anyway, these governors really don't have the power to say they won't take refugees. They're just saying it.
It's just because everything's just a Kurt Vonnegut book now. So they have to do this.
Right.
Just life
The only
just
thing
is
that makes sense.
weird and shitty, so this has to happen. It's the only explanation I need.
Well, so you think we should keep them out, huh?
Me, I don't care.
You're not afraid of ISIS?
No, because I think the situation is totally controlled. You know, and I honestly, I don't think anybody dangerous is coming into the country unless the CIA is doing it on purpose.
All right, well,
or
they
some other
detained
such
some...
shadowy organization.
They detained some dangerous people in America of Middle Eastern descent. 4 people were ejected from a plane on its way to Chicago from Boston.
Good.
While it was taxiing, they drove back and
Did they just hit their fucking ejector seat buttons?
Yeah, and a little panel in the
Shit.
ceiling of the plane.
You're
slid
out of
open.
here. Allahu
Yeah.
Akbar.
No, a very, very perceptive passenger saw what she believed to be some suspicious activity and reported 4 Middle Eastern-looking individuals
Of course.
for watching a video on their phone.
Good.
And then the authorities came onto the plane and removed those individuals.
Thank
found that they
goodness.
were watching a news clip of like an NBC. It was like an NBC news clip that they were watching, and then they evacuated the plane and searched it for bombs. And
What if they were watching the news of the bombings in Paris and they were all just like laughing, cackling?
They're fucking cheering, chanting.
yeah, high-fiving each other. They're adding to their turbans to make them larger, more intimidating.
Having an all-out fucking turban party.
Yeah.
What did they say was the
No
reason?
one's gonna stop this.
What did they say? What did the officials say was the reason for them ejecting these passengers? So
For suspicious activity.
yeah, but I mean, how is that?
The end.
Okay.
So that's all that's all that you need. You need to look like a terrorist, and somebody has to say, "I think that guy's a terrorist." Yeah, there was some weird account of a woman said that the passenger behind her picked up her baby and ran to the back of the plane. And while all this was going on, like the woman with the baby panicked and thought those people were going to explode everybody, so she tried to run away from them. Meanwhile,
why is that funny?
Wait, no, but it's
is.
funnier because the woman sitting in front of her thought that the woman with the baby was another terrorist, and that the baby was actually a bomb, and that she was
Awesome.
running back to detonate the bomb.
That did not happen.
Yes, it did, as reported by
Dear Abby.
Dear Abby. Yeah. As
It reminds me of a
by
friend.
The Chicago Tribune.
It reminds me of a story a friend told me about being on a plane the terrorists took over. That's it. That's all.
That's all.
Yeah. Just
Yeah,
explaining.
that's what it reminded me of too.
I'm being Dear Abby. All right. Abigail, what's her name? You know, Abigail
Van something.
Yeah.
Van Buren.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
She's long gone. We got Amy Dickinson now.
Yeah. We hate her
Yeah,
too. She was on
we
that
hate
show.
her.
She was on that show we made fun of.
Yeah. Sucks, don't listen.
Is that is that her gig now? Was the Dear Abby thing?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what she's been doing that for a long time.
Oh, okay.
Even before Dear Abby was gone, I think they ran at the same time.
Yeah. Ann Landers. She replaced Ann Landers.
There you go.
And
That
then Abby
stuffy
retired
old
and no one
cunt.
replaced her. That old bitch.
It was
I wrote a letter to Ann Landers one time when I was like 12. I never mailed it.
What was it about?
Yes, I can't remember.
Hold on.
come on.
Yeah, you remember what it was. You totally do.
You brought it up.
Yeah, I remember. Okay.
What is it?
Well, when our father and our aunts got into a tiff, as it were, about
The 10-year tiff.
the 10-year tiff about our grandfather's ring and who should have the ring, and they didn't talk to each other, and I totally wrote this. It was like a 3-page letter to
They never
Ann
would've run that.
Landers.
That's way too long.
Yeah, it was long, and
And now, part 1 of our 4-part piece about this 12-year-old girl's dad and his sister.
no, and I left it in my pocket of my pants, and my mom did the laundry, and I found the note like on top of the washing machine.
Unfolded.
Yeah, and she never said anything about it to me. So there it is.
I remember reading in Ann Landers that a person wrote in and wanted to know where common decency had gone in modern society because she was eating at one of her favorite local restaurants, and a young man a few tables over never removed his hat for his entire meal. And she said, and it really ruined the meal for me. And even Ann Landers was like, you really need to lighten up, lady. Like,
Listen here, you stuffy old broad.
yeah, what the fuck is wrong with you? And yeah, so that's my main recollection of Ann Landers.
I always found it too boring to read.
I read it
Always.
every day.
Isn't he gonna take his hat off? That reminds me too. I almost left Thanksgiving last year before it started because I was wearing a hat, you see? And it was the everybody just arriving part. I'd only been there like 20 minutes, and everybody's just kind of walking around and maybe having a drink or eating like an appetizer, and our elderly cousin, our eldest cousin, came up and said, Vinny, she's like, I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but Uncle John would like me to make sure that you're not going to be wearing your hat once we start the meal. And I was like, oh, dude. Like, you know what? I'm just going to go. I don't think I can do this. Because I was going to take it off. I didn't want to just be sort of just a antagonistic, you know, because if people care about that, whatever, you know, it's their thing.
No, he's a dick, though.
So yeah, so and then I'm like, now if I take it off, he's gonna think it's because he fucking said to take it off. So now I'm like, I can't fucking take it off. So what am I gonna do? You know? And so I go up to a couple different people. I'm like, I think I gotta go. And I explain it to him, and they just look at me like you're a fucking psycho. Like I
Dude,
know
you
what's
should've-
wrong with you. And so
should have just put the hat on him once dinner started.
Yeah.
He was already uncomfortable with our presence. Our cousin just told me yesterday that he made a comment to her along the lines of, "I'm very uncomfortable with all these strange people being here." And she said, "What do you mean, my cousins?" And he did. He meant us.
nice.
Like, you've known us our entire lives.
Yeah, and also like we weren't being unpleasant or unruly. Well, maybe towards the end.
He was probably just uncomfortable with my Mexican husband being there.
Yeah, that's usually what people mean, I
Yeah,
think.
I think so.
These,
Was I there?
you know,
Did
Yes.
you meet me?
It was probably you.
Did I meet this guy?
I don't know. He's like as old as the sands of time.
but yeah, that's what kind of person does that? Like, would you go make sure that he's gonna take his hat off before dinner? Like, do you have nothing going on in your life?
Yeah,
at
and
all?
also
Not a
and
thought
also
in
you
your
have
fucking
the
brain.
ability to do it yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just like, what? How is there not one thought in this entire splendid universe that we are able to be a part of? There's not one more profound thought in your head than that. How is there not one thing going on? Are you not in a conversation with anyone? You're not fucking doing anything with your brain other than this guy needs to take his hat off because that's what's proper on Thanksgiving.
Dude. He's probably still pissed because your elbows were on the table.
Yeah, and probably because we all have tattoos. He's like freaked out.
Yeah, and I think I was wine drunk by the time I got there too. That whole day is kind of a blur.
Are we going to see this guy again?
Yeah.
He'll be there. Yeah.
We'll all see him.
Let's all say something to him.
Let's all wear hats.
I'm going to
Yeah.
buy a hat, and then when I take it off for dinner, underneath I'll have a yarmulke.
That'll really rattle his
Dude.
cage.
Just to piss him off.
I like it that you have to go buy a hat.
I'm hatless.
What,
No,
you
let's-
think we just have hats laying around?
Let's just go buy like a giant bag of generic hats and claim that they're really cool and just give them out to everybody and keep pressuring them to put them on. You know, we'll just buy some like stupid blue baseball hats and just bring them in and just be like, dude, this will be hilarious. Everybody put these hats on. Come on, guys. We'll all start wearing
Come on,
them
guys.
and just start
We brought
getting
the
people to put
family
them on
hats for this year's picture.
and just watch him with like steam shooting out of his ears. Oh no, these strange people brought hats for everyone. And he has known us. He's known us all since we were little kids. These
Yeah.
strange people.
Yeah, but we grew into strange people.
Now, to
Yeah.
be fair, I don't even say hi to them because they're so weird to me. I avoid them when I come in the room. And if they don't make eye contact with me, I don't make eye contact with them. I don't care. Never really talked to them
Yeah.
before. I don't know, whatever. So maybe we could try to be less strange, but I don't give a fuck.
No,
What
we
does
don't
that
need to be less
mean?
strange. He needs to be less strange.
Strange how?
And he's racist.
You think
Yeah,
so?
he is.
How do you
Well,
know?
yeah, he made that comment about Katie's husband.
Being strange? Well, first,
Being Mexican.
Mexican's not a race. They just think
Oh,
it
right.
is.
Okay, then he's not racist.
What's a?
Well, Mexican's a
They're
nationality.
really
They're mixed.
Yeah, Mexican's a nationality. It's not like their race would be
Yeah.
like Native American and
Latino.
European Spanish or whatever, but I don't know.
I think Latino at this point is a race.
No, I don't accept it.
At this point.
They're not welcome to the club yet.
Mexicans?
You can't have a piece of the race pie. That sweet, sweet race pie.
I wonder if I'll have any of that this Thanksgiving.
Mexicans are leaving the United States. Did you guys know?
They better be.
Heard it's-
I was just about
They're
to.
leaving in droves.
I was just about to start kicking some ass in that department.
Yeah, well, according just start booting them out one by one.
I was just gonna start walking around with a gang of other white guys, and we would all have like jeans with holes in the knees and like leather vests and fucking chain collars and things like that, and we just swing chains and hold like 3.5-inch pocket knives around and just threaten them out of town, you know. One of us would have a lead pipe that he would slowly hit in the palm of his other hand, be like, all right guys, time to go.
Yeah, I was imagining some.
Yeah, so what is this deal, Andrea? Come on, why don't you get serious?
The Pew Research Center recently released a report where they studied the immigration records from America and from Mexico, and all the official and projections based on who's legal and who's not legal. But Mexican immigration to the United States is lower than it's been for the last 25 years.
Yeah.
And for every 400 immigrate, 100,000 are leaving.
That's great.
That's a quarter of them.
Hey, look, I'm all for getting rid of the Mexicans. We don't have any room. That's what I say. It's too...
We're running out of space.
It's too crowded. They do take up all the jobs. They're good at that.
Yeah, and also they manage to exploit our government programs because they're too late.
They get all kinds of free stuff that nobody else gets.
Yeah.
Just free.
Well, they do.
Mexican immigrant.
They
Like what?
Just everything. Cell phones, cars, houses.
They don't pay taxes on anything.
They don't pay taxes ever. Not even sales tax. No, they're sliding right under the radar.
Yeah.
How do they not pay sales?
And they're just coming in here and dropping babies left and right
wait.
just to anchor them down.
Some of what you guys said is true, though. Not all of it.
Which one?
I don't know. There's like surely plenty of people, and it is a part of Mexican culture in certain areas of Mexico to just come here and use resources as much as they can, you know, and take as much money as they can back to Mexico. I've talked to plenty of Mexicans that have told me this.
I don't know.
Well,
I
yeah,
have.
but we're kind of poking fun at the general misconception that it's really easy to exploit government programs as an illegal immigrant, because it's not.
It's really not.
Oh,
Not
okay.
easy.
No, I know, but it is easy to like show up at a hospital and be treated. But I'm not like being sanctimonious about it. I do the same thing when I need to go to the hospital. I go there and I never pay the bill, ever.
No, not ever.
No, me neither.
Yeah.
And if I had a way of not paying taxes, I would also avoid not paying taxes.
Right.
But for me, the risk is not worth the reward.
Yeah. So I'm not being like weird about it. I'm just saying it is true. I
Yeah.
mean, you know.
Yeah,
Whatever.
yeah, you're right.
There's an old war still going on, kind of, between the two countries. Mexicans, though, have really just kind of given up on their place. They're like, well, it just is what it is. Like, I don't really get involved, you know. Like, it's just
See you later,
Yeah.
Mexico.
no,
Yeah,
but
they don't-
They want to go back there one day when they're rich. They want to go back there and live like kings. I'm not sure why, because there's so many cool places here, you know. But
I don't think that's not necessarily true anymore. Like, I don't know. I know a lot of Mexican people, and most of them, all of them.
How? Where are you meeting them?
How? My husband is Mexican. He's an immigrant. He's got a
good
lot
for
of
you.
immigrant friends, and I know a lot of them. None of them want to go back to Mexico ever. They just don't want to go there.
Yeah, maybe
it's
that might be the
difficult.
people who are like 40 and above, because that's like a lot of who guys I've known are like maybe in their late 30s or 40s, and they go back when their kids are like 10 or 12. I'm like, your kids? Do your kids want to go? Oh yeah, they want to go back. Like, I don't believe you. Like, I don't think they do. They can't. Why would they?
No. But the situation in Mexico is getting worse and worse.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know, even in the short time that I've been with Luis, like, his mindset has changed. Like, he's like, I'll go back to visit, but I'll never live there again. It's too dangerous, you know?
Well, and it's the situation is escalating so quickly and so far out of control. And the more that I learn about it, the scarier it seems in Mexico. I don't think I'd ever go to Mexico. It's
What's
lawless.
the point?
The government is as corrupt as the police is as corrupt as the gangs.
Yeah, well,
That's all the same thing.
Right.
Yeah.
They're all the same.
I
Right.
feel like if I go to Mexico, I'm definitely gonna get my head chopped off with a chainsaw.
Yeah, or at least a machete.
Hey, David Box, turn yourself up a little bit if you can.
Okay.
Just your mic.
I'm sure that I'll get kidnapped by police if I go there. That's what I am positive of.
You probably won't.
No, I mean it's probably more than likely that you'll be fine, but it's still enough of a risk that it's like, why not just go to one of the 900 awesome places there are in this country or like Canada?
Yeah.
You know, there's plenty to experience without going into the middle of a fucking war zone.
Yeah.
But every one of my Mexican friends that's gone down to Mexico, we've either never heard from them again, or we get like, because they don't never want anyone to hear them speak English once they go back there. And I don't know if that's the entire fucking country everywhere, but the places that my friends have lived, that when they go back,
Mostly
it's like it's
northern part.
okay. Wherever they go back to, the cartels are everywhere, and people who might want to, you know, kids who might want to give them a tip and say, hey, this guy was in the United States, he might have a lot of money, let's kidnap his daughter or something. So they'll call and whisper and just be like, hey, how you guys doing? You know, like in the fucking back closet of a mechanic shop or something that the guy ran, that I'm thinking of. But that's all or you just never hear from them again, ever. So it is fucking, it's real shit. That country sucks.
Yeah, it's awful there.
Yeah, wait.
Awful.
Katie found this little infographic earlier that compares the amount of people. Let's see, since 2007, 21.5 thousand people have been. Is that usually how people say that? 21.5 thousand?
I don't think so.
Over 21,000 people have been killed in Afghanistan. Almost 82,000 have been killed in Iraq. And 164,000 have been killed in Mexico. So I just thought when you compared it to a war zone, it's actually worse than that by a very wide margin, because the places where wars actually are going on. Let's see. Iraq has less than half as many deaths.
Whatever, Andrea. That was the most smarty pants thing you've ever done. Like, you could have just.
What?
I don't know. Like, you didn't have to make it that my calling it a war zone wasn't accurate. I know. I'm just joking, but it was.
No,
it's
it's
incredibly accurate.
It was incredibly accurate. That's my point.
But
Most
you made
people
it
don't
sound
think of
like
it that way,
you made it sound like it
what
was
it is.
it was slightly worse than a war zone.
Well, it's like it's a bad war
No,
zone.
it was the way you said. But hold on, it was the way you said, because the places that wars are actually going on. Whatever. Just saying.
Why don't you shut up?
Guess
That's
I will.
an interesting statistic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. I thought so too.
I found it.
You really contributed to the show right there.
Good job.
I felt like.
Now I'm done.
Goodbye.
See you later, Andrea. David Box, what do you got
is it?
tonight?
I don't got shit.
Andrea,
I
you're
got this
supposed to be
Pink
moving the
Express.
show along. Where are we at?
I was going to ask, what is it about Mexico that makes it easy for us as Americans to not
make fun
describe
of
it as a war zone? You know, is it
I don't
is it
understand
this
the question.
kind of is it like this brainwashing where we're supposed to feel like Mexicans are taking things from us and we should have a buffer, and like we shouldn't feel like they're our direct neighbors and that they're living in a war zone constantly? You know,
It doesn't make any sense to me. Nobody cares. Nobody.
there's no
cares.
American aid. There's
But it's
there's
like
nothing.
Nothing.
It's like that all over the world. Countries right next
Yeah.
to each other hate each other for thousands of years at a time. You know, and like we don't even hate each other. Actually, we're pretty
Yeah.
fucking cool with each other for a world standard.
Right, and that's what I think is confusing, because they need help and we're giving help in other places, quote unquote, giving help in other places.
Well, that's just the thing. Mexico doesn't have anything to offer us to the government.
they got
You know what I mean?
drugs.
Yeah, but we're already getting all the drugs.
they
We could get more.
they're basically
Not by stopping the cartels, we can't.
at a certain level, you know, of power, Mexico is just like a lower wing of the United States that gets illegal things in here. That's mostly kind of what it's for, and what they're keeping it alive for. But I don't think anyone cares, because we generally look at it like, hey, you know, we won our independence, we've stood up for ourselves, we've preserved our freedom. If you haven't done it, then fuck you. Basically. Because I remember when I was really into like Alex Jones and stuff, that was how I felt about Mexico.
I just think it's weird. You know, in Chicago, we know a lot of Mexican people from Mexico. There is a high concentration of them in this area.
I know, and they're fucking annoying.
There's no... There's none of this, like, humanitarian push. There's no memes going around on Facebook. There's nothing... People from Mexico aren't talking about it.
Yeah, there is. But
yeah, Andrea.
Just don't have the right circles. I mean, it's only Mexican people. And
do they print their memes in English? Because otherwise
they're not in English, no.
See, that's the thing. Why aren't they appealing to Americans to start getting on their level?
Well, they have tried. Those 43 students that disappeared from that university last year in southern Mexico, and they said that the police, you know, there's a whole cover-up, whatever. They said that the police killed them, basically, and disposed of their bodies. They did try, when that whole thing happened, to get American backing. There was a campaign in English, but it didn't catch on. Nobody cared.
Well, you know what, though? I've seen, like, the Mexican guys I would work with, I would see them on their Facebook, and I would look, and they only are friends with Mexicans, and it's all Spanish posts that they would, like, there was no English anywhere. And so they kind of segregate themselves on social networking that way. So I'm not surprised.
Right, and then they alienate people like me, who I am an empathetic, bleeding heart type, that I'm a sharer of things on Facebook that touch me emotionally.
You piece
and
of
if they were printing this stuff in English, they could get more...
Yeah, but are you expecting, like, the everyday Mexican person that's creating a meme to speak English, though?
Uh-huh.
You know?
Yes.
No, but they have a network.
Oh.
That's my point, is that there's a network. There is a broad network, and there are a lot of native Mexican people that I know who speak English very well.
Yeah.
And who are smart, and who would want to work hard to make life better for their family in Mexico. But it's just... what is the reason none of it gains traction? You know, like you said, they started a campaign for the students and it never went anywhere. So what are the things that are stopping us?
Well,
from
I think
feeling that.
Yeah,
because
that's a good question.
Because they have a fucking racial superiority thing going on.
Is it? Do they?
I wish you
They're
guys.
not a race,
I wish
so
that
do the Jews, and we love them.
when I said that, it was the most perfect, like, weird, awkward ambience outside that I know is never going to come through on the recording. But I said that, and you guys were silent, and there was just one lady yelling and a car alarm going off outside. And I was just sitting there listening to it, like, But so, what the fuck did I even say? Where are we at again? I got lost in a weird space ghost fucking fizzy moment.
You said that Mexicans had a racial superiority, but they don't have a race.
Oh
so.
yeah, no, a lot of Mexicans are. I know that's what but I also said they don't know that it's not a race.
So they have a racial superiority with a race that they aren't even.
They are buffoons. It is like we used to talk about it a lot with Trix. Remember, because he grew up in Cicero, and most of his friends growing up were Mexican, and he was part Mexican. his whatever it was, grandfather was from Mexico, whatever. So we used to talk about a lot of times that it's like you just kind of overhear things and pick up on things. That, like, there's this really pervasive element of, like, Mexican superiority that's constant in conversations you overhear. Stuff like that. You guys have been...
there's a really, really strong nationalism.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
They're like Russians.
I don't know.
Even though they fled their country to come here.
Yeah, but they have various. I think it's it's the culture and the way that they get raised to love their country
And themselves.
We love this
Very strong
horrible
national-
place.
Yeah.
We have to leave, but it's still the best country.
Yes.
Well, no, see, but no, they don't. That not necessarily. It's the best country. The people are the best people. Is
Right.
What the mindset is.
Yeah, and everybody feels that way about their home.
Yeah. I mean,
So I tried to fight a dishwasher. Literally, like, I was like flicking him in the forehead and calling him a pussy and like pushing him, and he was kept backing up, and I'm like, come on, you fucking faggot.
Was he white?
Strangely, no. The dishwasher was Mexican. And
Oh.
but I had overheard him like 2 or 3 times just talking shit about white people, and always in reference of like I would understand enough Spanish to know that he's calling, like, you know, white people are pussies and this and that, and saying all kinds of shit like that. And I let it go a couple times, and then I finally one day, like, he tried to talk shit directly to me in Spanish, like I wouldn't know what he was saying, and I just like flipped out, and I just fucking pushed him and started trying to fight him, and like all the people in the restaurant were getting between us, and I just kept coming after him, just like, you want to see who's a fucking pussy, you little fucking faggot? And I'm gonna fucking, when you're calling someone a faggot, you usually say gay things that you're gonna do to them too, you know, which is a weird part of doing that.
Because you're so gay.
You're gonna suck my fucking dick, you little faggot. Like, you're totally the gay one. But yeah, so it was that whole scene, you know, and then it was actually my birthday. My boss is like, you know, I was gonna let you leave early today anyways. Why don't you just leave now and come back on Monday and relax? I'm like, all right. That place was cool.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I would have been fired in fucking 19 out of 20 places. But that place are just like, yeah, you know what? I understand you want to kill a Mexican. Just fucking take it easy for the weekend. We'll see you back here Monday all refreshed. But he was all about
We've
that
all been
constantly,
there,
like
buddy.
the superiority thing constantly, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And
I've experienced that a lot from Mexican women who, well, both men and women who like think that I'm not good enough to be married to a Mexican man, you know, and people who don't think that I speak Spanish, which I do, and will say things, and you know,
Yeah, you do look super duper white.
I'm very white.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of like animosity towards white people, and especially white people that, you know, are stealing Mexican men away from the Mexican women.
Sullying up their
Dirtying up the gene pool.
their race.
Yeah.
right, La Raza.
Yeah, I've experienced a lot of that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have never experienced that.
dude, I
Not
have.
ever.
I've experienced a lot
I've
of
been
like.
That's because I'm not Mexican.
I've been derogated.
He like, you could hear he was frantic to get that in there too. That was really important to him. well, that's. I'm getting that as a soundbite. That's because I'm not Mexican. We can use that a lot.
Yeah, perfect. Oh, but I've never been. I've had Mexican men treat me derogatorily when
Yeah,
I was
but
younger.
so have white men.
And more beautiful.
For the ravages of time got to
Yeah,
you.
gravity,
You hag.
sugar.
Sugar.
But no, I've never experienced that. All of the Mexican people that I interact with are at work or in my family. But they all treat me very respectfully. I just know that they're a machismo culture, and I see it in other ways, but I've never actually been directly affected by it.
I've had a lot of shit like where I would do a little experiment in my head, and I would come to work and I would make absolutely sure that I worked a little bit harder than every single other person there, you know, for 2 weeks at a time, and they would still fucking talk about how I was lazy. I'd be like,
Yeah.
all right.
Mexican people do not think that Americans know how to work ever, at all, ever.
No,
No
I
matter
know.
what job they're doing.
And
Yeah.
and it's
No
such
matter what.
it's such bullshit because like I've been in kitchens where they act like that and they're horrible cooks and they have no fucking clue what they're doing. And that everything's sloppy and bullshit. They don't even know the
Yeah, they
first
do
thing
the
about
bare
sanitation and shit at all. And they look at me like I'm fucked up and I don't know what I'm doing because I fucking like to get high and not fucking fake work for 8 hours in a row. You know, I just do what needs to be done and then chill out. And they can't handle that. So they're fucking assholes. Fuck them.
Fuck.
That's what I've experienced mostly as far as like the racial superiority thing goes with Mexicans.
Yeah, there is that, but there's also a lot of. I mean, it's not totally just a bunch of Mexican dickheads. being all
No, dude, I've
superior
had plenty
all
of friends too. Yeah. Real friends.
There are a bunch of college groups trying to pop up all over the place that are no whites allowed.
What?
They
This
allow
is an outrage!
Do they allow Mexicans in? She said.
Katie, you were kind of reading about this, right? Did they allow Mexicans or?
Yeah, it's all just minority groups, so they can everybody except white people. But then you like what? I don't know.
But
yeah,
see,
everybody except white.
That's the silly thing about race in the end is like shit is so gradually changing and then there's so many mixes of genetics and stuff. Like what percentage of not white do you have to be? Like what?
Yeah, exactly.
Where does it end? You know, and is like, is it Caucasians? Or is it just like maybe light-skinned Israelis that would look white? Or like, what is the fucking thing? Is it color? Is it culture? They're fucking retards. That's the thing.
What about the Jews? Look, we're all tiptoeing around it. What about the Jews?
Are they allowed in?
Are they white?
Andrea, I'm done with them.
Are we just that's it?
Forever.
That's it. I've written them off.
I'm not watching Seinfeld
I'm
ever.
washing my
again.
hands of the whole Jew problem.
Just forget about them.
No, but dude, that's the fucked up thing about things like that is like I understand if you're of certain like lineages and racial backgrounds in this country why you're angry. Of course. You know, I'm angry as somebody who had every opportunity to play the game in society and be successful if I wanted. And I'm fucking angry at the system. So I can understand, of course, them being 100 times angrier. But again, call it what it is then. And don't call it equality. Just call it revenge. And I would be fucking cool with it. You know what I mean?
hell
Like,
yeah.
just be like, dude, we want cultural revenge. And that we would have to debate intellectually. That we would have to come to the table on. You know, okay, that's interesting. Because we didn't directly do it in our generation. We didn't start the ball rolling on all this kind of racial oppression stuff. And most of us don't directly benefit from anything like that. You know, most of us are fucking poor too. And harassed by police and treated like shit everywhere we go. I mean, it's not a fucking racially exclusive thing to be fucking miserable in this country. So whatever, you know. I'm totally losing my train of thought. Andrea, help me.
Okay.
Where was I going with that?
I'm not exactly sure. You kind of went in a loop, so
Yeah, you were saying it's not really gonna get anybody anywhere to just exclude white people
Right.
for the purposes of diversity. You
And-
know.
But then I think I'm just getting back to the point of just then say what it is, do it, and we'll have to fucking talk about it then.
Call it a day.
Yeah, right now it's just this bunch of bullshit. Like, we want to have an area where people who might feel self-conscious in front of a white spectator to our racial discussion can feel comfortable and be themselves. Like, that's kind of the kind of shit I've heard with stuff like this in the past.
Yeah.
right.
And it's like, dude, that is bullshit. You want revenge. That's what it is. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
You want to exclude us.
Yes. And if you want to have that moment, if you just came out and said it, most white people, including me, would probably be like, all right, fine. Like,
Yeah, why do
Just
I want to
take
go to
it.
that anyway?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Just if that's honestly,
boring.
if that's gonna help everybody out, make you feel better, help you relax, then yes, have your super fucking secret Latino meeting or whatever you got going. That's fine. I don't give a shit in the end.
We won't tell a soul.
But the only reason it gets kind of irritating and interesting is because it's just draped in all this bullshit and then becomes this big social discussion that never really gets to the heart of it, which is just that.
For the wrong reasons.
You know.
Well, and now don't forget they have to drape a lot of shit in bullshit to get into loopholes and around hate crime laws, and especially at a college campus. I'm sure that there are plenty of rules that say you can't discriminate who can attend an event based on race, gender, sexual orientation. They have to be able to cover themselves if that happens.
Yeah.
So they probably aren't just allowed to say no whites allowed. They have to say it in a more convoluted way.
I just wish they would be honest. That's all.
They have been just saying no. I read about a couple instances at a couple different colleges whose names escape me now, but one of them...
University.
Okay, this college university. One of them is
High school high.
faculty, like minority faculty members that were passing out these flyers for, minority students to attend this discussion or whatever, and it said no, basically no white people are invited. You're not invited. So they really are saying it. And another was a girl that sent out an invitation on, she's a minority leader of some kind at a different university.
Mustafa Bahar. We've talked about her before.
Oh, okay. And she said no men and no white people allowed.
Well, but again, I mean, whatever.
So, I mean, maybe they are doing it, and saying, just being straightforward with it. Like, you want to exclude us, we're going to exclude you.
As a white male, I really want to know what's going on in that secret club.
We should dress up like women and go in.
Totally. We have
You
to be
guys,
black
one of you
women.
should sit on the other one's shoulders just for fun.
We're a
And get
10-foot
really
tall
long
woman.
trench coat. Yeah.
We could do the Bizarro of white chicks, and you
Aw,
and me will
listen
star
here,
in
baby.
black chicks.
Yeah.
We'll do blackface.
No, you'll be black chick.
It's really tall.
Yeah.
9 feet tall.
Long
Big
as
tall
I can-
black chick.
Dude, all right. Then first we have
This
to.
And you'll say
summer.
things like, "The weather's fine up here, child."
We'll have to first do
We'll
like
tear out
a.
each other's weaves.
We have to do like a Blair Witch kind of thing, where like we start a website and make it an urban legend for a while, like this huge tall black lady, and just get some credibility in the media going. We'll do a couple of appearances here and there, and then we'll make the big move into this
Get
fucking.
spotted once or twice.
I don't even know what we're breaking into. What is this thing?
It's a diversity meeting.
All right, good.
At your local college campus.
We should be part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're calling them anti-racism events somehow.
Dude, just call
Wait,
it.
listen
Seriously,
to
just
this
call it
sentence.
race revenge, and we'll all get really scared, and we'll stay away from there that day. If that's really what you want, that'll be
Yeah.
fine with most white people. Will be like, you know what? Yeah, you fucking race revenge day. I think I'll just hang out at home that
stay
day.
home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no big deal. And you
Rent
guys
a movie.
have at it, brothers. Rock on.
Okay, we will. Bye-bye.
Bye bye now. Enjoy your racial revenge day. Goodbye. Rock on. Bye bye.
Assalamu alaikum to yous.
Oh, is Muslim a race? Will they let Muslims in there?
I think so. I think it's a race.
We
No,
should
isn't it-
that's what we'll say our race is when we go in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they letting in the Syrian refugees?
Would they let in a Chechenian Muslim, a Chechen, or what do you say now? Is it used to be
Chechenian.
Chechenian Muslim? Would they let
Yeah.
them in? They got blue eyes, but they got like curly, kind of like Middle Eastern-y hair.
You know what's weird about Chechnya is that it's in Russia, but Putin won't go near it. It's Muslim controlled and has been for a long time, and he basically treats it like it's not even in the country. Doesn't deal
Sweet.
with it.
That's a good
Yeah.
deal for them.
But that's also where they're taking like ISIS sympathizers and just setting up like fake cells to recruit them through and just sending them out of the country without them ever knowing that the government just fucking basically got rid of them. It's like, yeah, we don't want to deal with you here. Anybody that gets dangerous, we're just sending them to fucking Syria.
Yeah, that's exactly where they get those people.
Yeah.
We got to deal with the Syrians. We got a hot tip that ISIS is coming up in the world.
Yeah.
They're Muslims. I forgot they're Muslims. We got a hot tip.
I like your Brooklyn Muslim character. That's nice.
They're Muslims. We loves them.
What is this guy?
Wait, what story were we on, Andrea?
Uh,
I'm looking in the thing.
No white people clubs.
Yeah, we're on 3.
Do I have that? Sorry.
I have it. I don't know.
I don't see it in here. I'll refresh.
Wow.
So what?
Anyway, we've been at these no whites allowed congregations for a long time. Pretty much since the Ferguson protests started. As soon as Black Lives Matter popped up as a hashtag, we started talking about these things. They tend to get shut down pretty quickly. But it's kind of weird that people keep trying. Why don't they do it more subtly?
Why? I don't know.
Don't you hate white people?
Yeah.
No, dude. They're just so phony.
Obviously.
They're just so phony. So many of
white
them.
people?
No, just so many of like the new kind of like join the fad style, online activists and protesters and all this kind of shit. It's like, just like I said, just fucking call it revenge, please. I would love that so much.
Be way more satisfying.
Yeah,
Makes
just
a
do
lot
it.
of sense.
Just do it, and we'll actually be able to have a conversation at that point. But whatever. We watched this video earlier of some protest. What was the thing that happened at the Missouri? What is it? Ole Miss or whatever. What was it? Mizzou, Old Miz, or what do they do? Whatever it is. There was some big event that happened there, and the football team, went on strike or whatever shit, and there was all these fucking protesters. And I was watching some like YouTube videos from it earlier, and the kids protesting. It was when everybody was doing the hands up thing from Michael Brown,
Mm-hmm.
and so they're all doing like the hands up thing, and they start telling these photographers, you can't come in our protest, and they're like, yeah, we can.
Yeah.
We're photographers. Like, this is what we do. We document shit like this. You're making a huge public spectacle.
You a favor.
Yeah, and you're making a huge public spectacle. That's why photographers came. So, what did you want, And so they literally start acting like fucking mobsters and just like ganging together and pushing these fucking photographers out and going, you don't have the right to photograph us. And they're explaining to them like, no. The same First Amendment that gives you the right to stand here gives me the right to come here and photograph. It's just like, I've seen a bunch of these videos where this like new protest movement, they don't even understand what they're doing. They have no fucking clue. They're just completely out in space. Just they don't know what a right actually is, or where it comes from, or how it's protected, or what, you know what I mean? Like, this whole thing is nonsense.
We out here, we gotta make a difference.
No, it's just these kids, like these early 20s college students that just think that they are like, they're like so like coddled, their whole lives. They've not been exposed to anything. Everything has to be fair for everything.
They've not been exposed to black people.
They've never seen a black person. But no, they're just like getting all up in arms because whatever little tiny reason, and then they decide they need to protest, and they don't understand how it actually works,
Well, not a lot of them, and I don't know, dude. When that shit was going on, when I was like 18, 19, 20, I was working full time and doing a bunch of other shit, and I remember just being like, really don't have time to go stand around with signs and protest George Bush or whatever as though like John Kerry's supposed to be better or something. I don't give a fuck. And I think a lot of it is just like having the time and luxury to be out there doing that shit and spending money and stuff.
Yeah, well, and not only that, it's also the time commitment of learning about the issues and taking a stance, which a lot of people don't bother to do either.
Bunch of shit bags.
What a bunch of bags of shit.
So, I don't know. We kind of went on a side tangent there about stupid fucking protest videos and whatever. But what else on the anti-white people thing? Because I still can't find it in here, or else I would.
We kind of got it all.
There's not much to it. Nothing really went anywhere with it.
No, it's just that people keep trying.
Just a little revenge. That's all right.
But
That's fine.
Jared Fogle has been sentenced.
Ooh.
Huh?
Where's it?
The fuck? Your connection's fucked up. Are you back? Hello? Oh, man. I hate it when this happens.
Hello?
No, you're gone. Are you gone? They're completely gone. We're going to have to reestablish the call. I'm going to have to go to a break. I guess when we come back, we're going to talk about Jared Fogle for some reason. I don't really give a shit about that. Hold on. Hello?
We're back. Can you hear us now?
Yeah, let's do the timing test. 1, 2, 3.
Kablooey.
I didn't say it. Made you guys look stupid.
I like it that Katie knew
shit.
what the timing test was without an explanation.
Yeah, how did she know that?
I listened to the show. I was your final viewer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that show was a train wreck.
Yeah, it was a good one.
I just listened to like the
Good
last
old
45
train
minutes.
wreck.
Anyways, Andrea, let's do a quick break because I need to have a quick smoke.
Me
We'll
too.
come back
This
and-
fireball is killing me.
We'll come back and finish it out. What do you say? What do you say? Is David Box asleep again?
He's asleep with his microphone like touching his eyeball.
Dude, he's fallen asleep like 4 shows in a row. What the fuck is going on with him?
Dave,
David Box.
he's got his headphones on. Oh, there you
We're
are.
not getting
Hi.
any wacky sound effects or anything.
Sorry.
Dave, you're...
The last thing he said was, "I'm not Mexican."
Are you sure that's the last thing I said?
Hey, you know what? If you're gonna have to choose any final words, those aren't the worst thing you could fucking say.
Yeah.
You're on your deathbed. What are your final words, Father? Just remember, I'm not Mexican.
Father.
Then it shows his gravestone. R.I.P. Tom Tomlinson, not a Mexican.
Okay.
All right, quick break for smokins, and then we'll be back on the Overdose Talk Show, as though you're even listening.
Get a drift off my swing.
Piece of shit, piece of shit, piece of shit, piece of shit, piece of shit.
Hi, guys. Hello? Holy fucking Christ, are you kidding me? Are they really not here? Or are they fucking just not at their mics? Thought the break would be longer. I'm really not sure. I'm gonna hang up. And if they call back, then they really were not there. We're still hanging out here tonight. Darcy's outside smoking. We've been talking a lot about the Syrian refugees, which everybody is very upset about. And, I don't know. I can't seem to find the energy. There's a lot of things that it's just like fucking... When I see the cues to get up in arms, I just don't do it. Hello?
Hey,
You weren't here.
we've been here all along. One of our animals unplugged the mixer.
Nice.
So we're all sitting here going, hello, hello, hello. We're here, hello.
Which one was it?
We're not sure. It happened mysteriously. I suspect the dog.
I suspect the dog too.
Me too.
So we
looked
shot
the
him in the
guiltiest.
head and dragged his body out.
Don't say that about him.
Yeah.
You understand, boy.
Kicked him square in the lower jaw, so his teeth clacked together.
Poor guy.
You have
I
to
put one right in
you
between
have
his
to
eyes.
understand, boy. You are the prime suspect. What did it sound like when you shot him, David Box?
It sounded like a splash in some water.
Couldn't have been a cue for your sound effect of a gunshot and a fart, could it?
Nope.
There we
it
go.
is.
Thank you. Now,
We're back.
now, young Andrea, where were we in the talk show?
Jared Fogle, the former Subway spokesperson and current pedophile.
Yeah, he was
Has-
fat, and then he got skinny. It was crazy.
Yeah. Well, he got sentenced today to 15 and a half years in prison, even though the prosecution was only seeking 12 and a half years.
That's too long.
It's too long for him to be in prison for those crimes he committed.
Let's
Way
start.
too long.
Let's start a campaign to fucking free Jared Fogle.
Yeah.
Like, come
Hashtag
on.
free Jared.
He was the Subway guy. Who cares? What are you talking
Hashtag
about?
$5 foot long. Yeah, so he pled guilty to several charges, including in New York to have sex with minors as young as 16 years old, distributing child pornography. He was actually, we talked about this on the show, one of his friends set up a sting where she recorded him talking about how much he wanted to bang her daughter. who
Oh,
was,
hell
like,
yeah.
I think. So now his defense, he pled guilty. However, his lawyer has gone on record saying that his rapid weight loss caused him to become hypersexualized, and that
Who is that?
Oh.
Mysterious
So
elvish.
yeah, that was their main defense, and the reason they wanted leniency in the sentence was because his rapid weight loss had caused him to have uncontrollable feelings of hypersexualization.
Happened to me too.
Basically, they were saying he would have done it within. It really doesn't matter that this girl was 16 because she could have been anyone. So
Flint's the child. Yeah, that's great.
So it's the opposite of the Twinkie defense.
That's his least favorite sample.
What?
The what?
The Twinkie defense.
No, you, Darcy. The what? The what?
The Twinkie
What is that?
defense. I don't know the specifics of it, but someone said that they're over. I'm drunk. I'm sorry. That they ate too much. Yeah, they ate too much junk food, and it made them not be able to control themselves. It was called the Twinkie defense. It was a big case back in the day, and I don't remember any of the specifics. There you go.
Oh,
Awesome.
Thank you.
Cool.
None of you have
great.
heard of that?
No.
Oh. All right.
It made me think of the Ghostbusters, though.
Well, that's good.
Because they were using a Twinkie in that one scene to explain something.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was a guy eating in the...
John.
Yeah, there was a guy eating in the bar today that looked like the fucking asshole that shut them down from the EPA or whatever.
Peck. Walter Peck.
Yeah, Pack. That fucking
How
piece
can
of
you
shit.
remember that, but you can't remember your childhood? Yeah, that's the only part of childhood I choose to remember.
earlier I asked her to remember something, and she real sarcastically said, "Oh, okay, I'm thinking back. I'm looking in my memory."
I have no memory of anything.
Walter Pack.
Nothing there.
And yet you remember Walter Peck.
I do remember that.
priorities. So anyway, Jared Fogle's official, I don't know if it was psychiatrist or psychologist, had only diagnosed him with mild pedophilia, which is why they were asking for leniency. Yeah, hypersexuality accompanied pedophilia. And somehow, wait, the psychiatrist added that Fogle's crimes are quote-unquote more normal than having sex with an 11-year-old.
Well, I am going to go ahead and tend to agree with that, because if he was looking at like 17-year-olds, 16-year-olds, like people that age are getting married places, you know? Like,
yeah, but like, so what's the...
People that age are getting tits.
They got tits.
They got tits.
They do.
They got badges.
Listen here, they have tits and badges. Waving them all over the place at that age.
You know what they say, if there's grass on the field, play ball.
But yeah, no, I mean, yes, you do have a point, but there's still that mental fixation on sticking it to somebody you're not supposed to.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, that's indicative of... And also, it's not specific about the child pornography that he was distributing. It's possible that he was more interested in younger people but saw them as a higher risk.
What are you doing?
Right?
I couldn't hear anything.
Okay.
Trying to talk about Jared Fogle.
No, we're having a whole headphone fucking thing happen.
It's a problem.
Story of our lives.
Darcy, well,
Fucking.
Darcy came in talking about... Darcy came in talking about a thing that her sister told her about some typical... Her sister lives up in Wisconsin. And, of course, since everybody's talking about the Syrian refugee thing and everything, what was she saying?
Basically, she got into a political debate with her boss on the sales floor at Macy's about her boss wants to bomb the entire Middle East.
From what? From like some little control center in his apartment?
No, it's some chick. No, this all started... I can't hear.
Yeah, you guys are cutting out really bad.
It all started because her boss has a Facebook page that apparently some of the customers are able to see for some reason. I don't know.
In fact, hold on. We're going to try to reconnect this one last time.
We're doing this?
I'm hanging up on you guys. Call back. But
Bye.
Go ahead with your story.
Well, I guess she has this Facebook page that customers are able to see.
Party line.
Party line.
Hey.
All right, we're back. Go ahead.
And she keeps liking and posting all of these incredibly anti-Muslim things. And one of their regular customers is a Muslim girl. And so she responded back to these posts, trying to be like, hey, you know, don't be an asshole.
Oh, we're not all terrorists.
Yeah, we're not all terrorists.
Yeah, I've heard it.
But I guess the boss eventually just blocked the girl because she didn't want to talk about it, which is actually what happened to my sister, is that eventually the conversation got to a point where the girl couldn't defend herself and just said, well, this is inappropriate to talk about on the sales floor. We really shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, that used to happen to me at work a lot.
But apparently my sister did not let it go.
This is inappropriate on the fucking sales floor, Vinny. I heard that 50 times a day.
I can imagine.
Like, what? I just want to see what kind of underpants you have on.
And she also thinks that Obama is the reason that everything bad has ever happened, including welfare.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's a Muslim.
He's a Muslim.
Yeah.
But he is.
He's in cahoots.
That's the thing. We joke around about it, but that's like that all comes from a real place, you know. What about that ring, Andrea? What about that ring?
And Michelle is and the children aren't theirs. We all know the story.
Okay.
Michael Obama didn't give birth to those girls.
Michael Obama.
That's her name. She's a man. We proved it on the show.
No way.
No, we proved it beyond the shadow of a doubt. She was convicted in the court of overdose. See, Darcy only laughed because she could see my face when I did that.
It's much better when you can see his face.
So, anyways, what?
Yeah, I
what?
hear your face.
The guy wants to bomb all of the Middle East.
Well, no, I mean that's not what I meant. I mean, just like the Muslims. And my sister continued on, like all Muslims.
Just the Muslims.
And she's like, well, no, not all the Muslims, just the terrorists.
Yeah, we're really good at just killing terrorists.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, we've been doing that for years. You got a new idea? You can't kill them as fast as they're growing them. No, I've had a member of my family say literally the exact same thing to me before.
Oh, who was it? Dish.
But
Dish.
guess who it was?
Who was it?
Our father.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Told me that fighting hasn't stopped in the Middle East for 2,000 years and that the world might be better off if we just killed everybody.
The Jews included, huh?
Well, he wants to stick all the Jews on a boat with a nigger under each arm and send them out to sea. That's his plan for them.
Holy fuck.
That might just work.
Okay, I only said that because it was a direct quote.
No. But that's him quoting his uncle. That's what that actually is.
That's it, Andrea. You said nigger.
Mm-hmm.
The jig is up.
The jig is up. The nig is up.
Jigaboo.
You guys
are acting
great.
like a real bunch of gypsies. So you're saying you don't agree with this idea that we should bomb all the terrorists?
Sounds pretty solid, I guess. I didn't really think it through.
Dude,
Which terrorists are we talking about?
Any terrorist.
All of them. The terrorists.
The terrorists. Okay.
Yeah.
If
All right.
you-
Just so we're clear.
Al-Qaeda.
If you make me afraid at all, we're gonna bomb you.
We're bombing,
ISIS,
but on a larger level,
Muslims.
on a larger level, we're shut up, Andrea. On a larger level, we're bombing terrorism as an idea. Don't you understand?
Yeah,
that's
war on terror.
No, I got it. It's been shoved down my throat for 15 years. I
We're
think I
putting
got it.
terrorism on
That's
blast.
the only thing that's going to be shoved down your throat.
Oh.
Jesus. So the conversation. What was that? How did you finish that out?
I offered her a tasty popsicle.
Jam down her throat.
Creepy, Andrea.
But she can eat it however she wants.
The fuck. The whole conversation on social media has turned to like, hey, don't you think there's white terrorists? And I don't understand how that like combats the idea that you shouldn't bring terrorists in from other places if possible. But they're
Because they're already here.
well, but that
Dun, dun, dun.
no, but it's like they'll point to people who acted on their own according to the official story. It's like Timothy McVeigh and the guy, I can't remember the guy now that shot everybody in Charleston and all this and that. It's like they weren't part of a larger network. That's why I guess it's not as scary to people. You know what I mean? They weren't part of some like
as
group
far as
that
we
has
know.
well, but but we're not talking about people who will even go into that like conspiracy side of things where you go like Timothy McVeigh certainly didn't work alone. I know that for a fact. You've watched that documentary with me. And not just that, but I've been reading about it for years. And whatever, but it's not as astute as that. It's just saying, well, why isn't he a terrorist? He killed people. Like
He's not a terrorist.
Huh?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's officially branded as a terrorist.
Oh, okay. So there you go.
They branded him
So he is.
before they put
But
him
I've
down.
specifically seen people cite him like, and any other white mass murderer they can think of. Like, why is this not terror? Like, well, it should be. I guess, but like, they're not part of an organization that's trying to fucking take things down. In most cases.
Yeah, which is a really important difference. And you know what? I meant to mention this earlier too. There's one comparison that's been floating around the internet, which is, oh, so you don't want us to judge all Muslims as terrorists? Then maybe you shouldn't judge all white people as as gun violence, and you should let us keep our guns then.
Yeah.
Have you seen that one?
I've seen
where
that.
they're trying to make that argument.
Wait,
seen
that sounds a little bit loose.
Yeah.
No,
Well-
yeah, that's what they say. Oh, we got to keep the Muslims out. We have to keep the refugees out. But the Democrats don't want us to keep our guns. Doesn't make any sense. There's no correlation there at all. But that's what it is. That's the topic for that. I got into a good argument with this redneck bitch the other day on Facebook, and she was like, "You Democrats," which I am not. Don't identify with any political
You're
party.
communist.
I'm a communist, and
You don't even know what that is.
she was like, "You Democrats want to take our guns away because that's what causes school shootings." But this is just what I mean. You know, it's all fucking a bunch of
and on this show we're for the most part very like pro gun rights, you know, and anti gun control, but that's like when the mainstream right argues it just sounds fucking retarded.
So stupid.
Yeah. And they rarely touch on the real issues, you know, but it's all this kind of masquerading around American tradition and blah, blah, blah. You know, like, just shut up. It's for killing the government. That's all it's for.
That's what we want our guns for.
Right.
Yeah, if you say it how it is, it'll be more appealing to a lot of people.
Even I might have a gun.
Even you might somehow possibly obtain a gun.
Would you, Andrea, if you got a gun, would you want a registered gun?
No.
Why not?
Because then they could come take it.
Who?
And I'll only use it to kill the
said,
government. You know, Obama.
Obama's just going to come to your house and be like, "Excuse me, ma'am, can I have your gun?"
Obama and his Muslim thugs are going to come rapping on my door.
Assalamu alaikum. See?
Hey, little lady, assalamu alaikum to you.
No, but I don't think I would either. I don't think I would want a registered gun. I think I would want it to be a secret.
You could have a registered
Probably
gun.
not.
Yeah.
But
register it in someone else's name.
Yeah, that would probably end up being me.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Here, you get a gun. I'm gonna carry it everywhere I go. No, but
it'll only be a problem if I have to use it.
That's kind of my whole thing too. Is like the biggest idea behind like the phrase "shall not be infringed," you know, in the Second Amendment, is that we need that last line of defense because they've understood that no matter what kind of government you create, it's probably going to get taken over at some point by people who don't have the best interests of society, you know, at heart. And so
it's a waiting game.
And so they understood that it would eventually come no matter what you do and how vigilant you are with your self-governing as we're supposed to be, you know, and whatever else. You know, that's the reason. That's why you need them. I'm not even joking around when I say just to kill the government. That's basically what it's for. And that's why it has to be preserved. And, you know, people, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about anymore. Where was I going with this? I gotta stop losing my train of thought because I go so far to fucking set something up.
I found out that George Washington was not the first president of the United States today. Is that interesting?
That's okay.
Yeah. I actually missed most of the TV show that I was watching because I was at work. But apparently John Hanson was the first president of the Continental Congress under the Articles of the Confederation. So he was actually the first president of the United States.
That's before the United States.
But he was president of this land, right?
I think I'm too drunk to talk like a founding father.
Yeah, I just saw how much booze you drank, and I am a little concerned.
I've been drinking whiskey out of a McDonald's cup. Straw.
I've been drinking whiskey out of a whiskey bottle.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we didn't really drink most of that.
It was a little over halfway full when I started.
I don't know if that's right.
Yeah. It was just up to the grandfathers.
See, this is the problem with you, is that if I hadn't
on the
seen-
side of the Jim Beam bottle, they got all their fucking...
This is how you measure your booze by the grandfathers.
It was just up to the great... No, it was only to the greats, actually. So fuck you.
All right. Okay.
That's how I measure everything.
By grandfathers.
You just put pictures of grandfathers
I
on
have about
everything.
4 grandfathers of this.
How big is your apartment? It's about 50 square grandfathers.
What took you so long? I got to the store and the fucking line was like 7 grandfathers long. Fucking ridiculous. Sit there all fucking day. And the cashier was a little grandfather in the tooth. If you know what I mean. So he was moving slow.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then I took off out of the parking lot at 65 grandfathers an hour. And a cop with like a fucking 2 grandfather dick pulled me over. I had to fucking try to pull his dominant act.
What's the conversion for grandfathers to mile?
I told him to fuck off. He wrote me a ticket for like, wait, what? Hold on. Whatever. We don't have to keep going with this. I could have just got... I realized it wasn't even clever what I was doing anymore. And I was just going to keep going. He wrote me a ticket for like 130 grandfathers.
I still think it's funny.
Yeah. And I said, do you know how much I make? I only make 4 grandfathers an hour. It'll take me 7 grandfathers to work this off.
I like it when you all get together.
You know what I thought of a minute ago?
It's funny.
That and this, I don't know how to deliver this, but I was thinking about how we should call ourselves the Retartridge family.
Yep.
A bunch of morons.
Yeah, that's about right.
What else you got, Andrea? Is that it?
Yeah, well, I pulled one police story that I felt was kind of inspiring.
What is it?
A crowd attacked a Florida police officer during an arrest because they felt like he wasn't doing it right.
Good for them.
What did he do wrong?
See, this was in Melbourne, Florida.
Did they break his fucking face?
They broke his fucking car.
Nice.
I don't know if they actually.
Nice. We'll pay for that.
Let's see. Fogle, who was 22, was being placed under arrest over a minor ordinance violation. That's as specific as they get. The people who saw what was going on thought that it was so ridiculous they jumped in to fight the cop off of him. So once the other people started causing a distraction, Phoenix, who was being arrested, fled and brought back up with
oh, great.
Followed, continuing to interfere with attempts to arrest Lowe by yelling, striking, and pulling at the officer
No, you're
and the
cutting
prisoner.
out too much.
So they were...
This is bullshit.
Am I here now?
Yeah, you're better now. Go ahead.
Hello?
No. Yep.
Okay. Well, the crowd followed the officer and again pulled them apart physically while also striking and pulling at the officer. And then the officer took out his pepper spray, his taser, a baton, and used less than lethal force to regain control.
Wait, he took out his pepper spray, his taser, and his baton all at the same time? So he was double fisting it with one, like...
all at the same time. He attached the pepper spray to the end of the taser. No, he put his pepper spray on the baton, so as he hit you, it also sprayed you. Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah, that's good.
What are you going to do? Hit me with the baton that has pepper spray on it, and when you hit me with it, pepper spray shoots out and sprays me in the eyes? Yeah.
He happened to also have a roll of duct tape with him to situate that, to situate
But
that.
the end of this story is that he did regain control and eventually arrested Phoenix.
arrested him. Yeah.
That's
He
bullshit.
was charged
That's
with
bullshit.
battery on a law enforcement officer, resisting with violence, resisting without violence, and the charge that started it all was an open container of alcohol.
God damn it. Did any of
Resisting
the,
without violence?
crowd people get arrested?
Yeah, and also resisting with violence.
So, like,
both of them.
resisting without violence, like you just
I
sit
didn't even know
down and
those
say
were two
no?
separate things. Yeah, failure to comply. Yeah.
Comply.
So this is the second time in 2 weeks that a crowd has stepped in to stop an arrest in Melbourne, Florida. So
moving
it
there.
sounds like they're getting pretty fucking fed up.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we've been waiting for
Well,
this
this
for a
is the
long
thing.
time. For people
Yeah,
to
and
start
this is
standing up
something
for
that
each
we-
other.
And we've talked about it a lot. I remember when we had Chris Lally on the show asking him, like, was nobody helping you? Did nobody even stop to investigate? And he said, no, I was screaming for help. You know, people were assaulting me, but since they were uniformed officers, nobody would even stop to look at what was happening.
You know,
I did
Chris,
see
Chris Lally, he hates white people.
Yeah, I know. We've talked about that on the show, too.
I did see a video maybe 6 months ago of a New York police officer attempting to arrest like a teenager, and there was a crowd of people and they were just like, get out of here, you're not arresting him, you better leave right now. And the cop totally got in his car and left.
I saw
You
that
guys
one
see
too.
that
Yeah.
one? Yeah.
That was a good one. Yeah, but usually it doesn't go that way. Usually, I mean, I've seen so many where they're starting to arrest somebody and people try to step in and they get intimidated out of it. And not even with, they make one move and the cop makes one move in retaliation that scares them badly enough that they won't make a second move.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It would take a bunch of people deciding at once to just go full force. Because
Yeah, well,
in
remember-
reality, like, a lot of cops are fucking pussies, but they can pull weapons that we don't fucking have, most of us.
Right.
And
Yeah.
and they've got long sticks and pepper spray
Well,
and
and
guns
they're also
shit,
willing
like,
to like shoot you over
and
it.
if you don't end the fight in 30 seconds, more of them are coming. So like if you're gonna fuck up a cop and help somebody that shouldn't be arrested and get away, you've got to do it, and everybody's got to get away fast. Like it's a bad thing, really.
Mm-hmm. Well, how about, remember in China when the cops beat that woman up and people just flooded the streets and started flipping the cop cars and beating the shit out of cops?
Yeah.
And that was, I mean, they had responded thanks to the swiftness of their social media.
The Swissness?
Swissness, yeah. It's full of holes. Thanks to their swiftness, people literally flooded the streets within like 4 minutes. And it was a big, giant, unruly, unmanageable crowd, and they just started fucking the police up.
I remember that video. That was so cool.
Yeah.
It was so satisfying to watch. I'm going to find that and share that with everybody.
Dude, there's probably a YouTube clip of us watching that video going like, damn, he just fucked that cop up. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Look at him kick him in the fucking face. Hell yeah, dude. I love it when cops get the fuck beat out of them. It's just like a really angry Mystery Science Mystery Science Theater 3000 of cops getting the shit beat out of them. That's what a lot of our early shows was just us just commenting on cops getting beat up. Like,
Yeah.
oh, dude, I love it how he slams his head in the hood. That's so fucking
Yeah.
good. I wish I could do that so bad.
So brutal. Yeah, we've got a lot of
I'm
that.
sure that's on YouTube. I'm sure we watched that one.
Yeah, we'll find that.
So what? We don't need to find it. Who cares? People can find it themselves. Fuck them.
Yeah, fuck them.
It is a little orgasm in your brain, though, when you see a cop totally just take a punch in the face or something.
Yeah. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, God, somebody did it. Our grandma supposedly fucking punched a cop at
She did.
O'Hare
At
Airport.
O'Hare Airport, yeah.
Like, back in the day, she was she was probably wearing, like, gloves and a fancy hat,
she was in
pick
her
some-
50s.
Oh, was she?
Yeah.
So it was the 70s then. She
Yeah.
was born in 1922.
Yeah, so that
Holy
was the
fuck.
70s.
She's old.
Old as fuck. She's 93, bro.
God damn it.
Bro. Yeah, she punched a cop in the face, and when she went to court, the judge ordered the cop to apologize to her.
Because he was rude.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she was small. And she told me too that she deliberately like wore real flat shoes and wore muted colors so she would appear as small as possible when she stood in front of the judge.
She is a tiny lady.
The other part of it too is that when she got out of the car to punch him, she shut the back of her coat in her car door and it like caught her. So she went to punch him in the face and all that happened was she nicked him in the chin.
Yeah, but look how different. You know what would happen to a 5'3" fucking 110-pound woman who did that now? They would get slammed down. Break her fucking arm, dude. It would be nuts.
Yeah.
And then
especially in Chicago.
Not only would it be nuts, but there would be like a certain percentage of people on Facebook and YouTube going, "That was fine. That was like she should not have given him any bullshit. That was fine for him to do that."
Yeah.
That's how fucked
he was
up
just
things
doing
are
his
now.
job. Yeah, and since then the Chicago police force has just exponentially gotten more and more out of control. Katie, you got roughed up by a police officer
I did
one
get
time,
roughed up
and then
by
I
a
gave
police
the finger
officer.
to a whole station full of police officers.
Oh, yeah,
remember
that? Yeah, I totally got roughed up by a Chicago cop one time. We were at a party.
Is this the one that I was at?
No.
I don't think you were there. I'm not sure if you were there or not. But we were at a party at
No,
a
you
friend
were.
of-
Yeah, you were there.
And they started
wasn't
fighting,
there.
and then the cops got called, and then Andrea got to
Yeah,
go to a
she
bar
called the cops
underage.
on her-
Yeah.
Okay.
So let me tell a story.
Go ahead. I'm just trying
A
to.
friend of mine and her boyfriend got drunk and started fighting, and he pushed her or something. She called the cops on him, and the cops just like fucking 10 of them just like busted down and made a beeline for this kid who was probably 100, like 5'4", like a real skinny little white kid, and just started like manhandling him and pushing him on against the wall and then down on the ground, and they were like twisting his arm, standard cop stuff.
Yeah.
Twisting his arms all behind his back. And I was standing there like, yo, you cannot do this to him. You're hurting him. Let him go or do it nicer. He was not resisting. He wasn't doing anything, saying anything. And the cops started, one of the cops turned around to me, "Sit down, you fat cunt." You remember
What?
that?
He said
They were
that?
calling me a cow. Yeah, oh hell yeah. All these, and then like there was easily 8 to 10 cops in that. Easily.
I was hiding on the fire escape because I was drunk and underage.
Okay, there you go. And so they start, and I was like yelling at them, like, you can't fucking do this. Leave him, like, you cannot fucking do this. You can't just run in here and push this kid on the ground. You have no fucking clue what's going on. And they were like, sit your fat ass down. Yeah, I was fat back then. Okay, fine. I said I was fat, but you don't have to point it out, And
But also, like,
so
you
these
were
cops are
Hashtag no body shaming.
you were never fat enough to be like made fun of for being fat by a bunch of people either. Like, that's
No, I wasn't. No, and that's the thing. I mean, I was fatter, but whatever. So, and it was like easily like so like 3 or 4 cops are holding this kid down, knees in his back, twisting his arms around, and I'm like yelling at them like, "Fuck you, you fucking pigs," because at that point I'm pissed off.
because you're a member of our family.
Yeah.
Because that's how you were raised.
Yeah.
Oh,
so these guys.
Speaking of which, coming soon in the next few months is gonna be the audio from my last arrest.
Oh,
Or no, two arrests ago when I just like fucking flipped out in the police station and just
wait for that.
called these guys every name I could think of and just fucking screamed at them for like 20 minutes. We're gonna do that for sure. That's gonna be coming soon.
Okay, let me finish telling this
Yes,
story.
go ahead.
So they're backing me down, and they're like, "Sit the fuck down," and I'm like, "I'm not sitting down. Fuck you." One of them grabbed me and pushed me onto this couch that was like kind of behind me. What?
Get on your mic.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was on my mic. He like pushed me down onto this couch, scratched the shit out of my arm. I had a big long scratch and he gave me a big red mark or whatever. It was to bruise the next day, and pushed me down on the couch. And all these cops just like stood around me like, "Don't get up, you fucking fat piece of shit, you cow, all the cunt, all this shit." Okay, so eventually
Did
Nobody got
they call you a whore?
No, I don't think so. Cunt, cow, fatty, all kinds of
Slut?
stuff.
Were any
And
of
all
them
I
fat?
think of what?
Were they fat?
Probably all of them.
That's
were
what I was
probably fat.
thinking.
Yeah.
Is they're usually fat?
Yeah, a lot of them are fat. But so eventually nobody got arrested somehow. I don't know how. And I got on the phone with you, Vinny, and I was like, what do I do? And you were like, oh, file a report. And I called my dad. I called all kinds of people. So we went to the police station, went into the police station.
That's when I was way more naive, by the way. And I was like, this needs to be documented. Like,
Their own.
This is probably 8 or 9 years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
And went into the police station, and they refused to take my statement, my report. I was going to file like a assault against this cop that touched me for no reason, you know, and refused. Just the cops were like, no, get out of here, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Literally refused to take it. So so finally, after we had given up, and as I said before, I was very drunk. We had finally given up, and they were like, come on, let's go. And I was kind of standing there, and I was like, no, I'm not satisfied by that. That doesn't feel like we did anything. And they were all like, no, come on, let's just go. And so I just started like giving people the finger and like waggling my eyebrows at them and being like, you see this? You like that? Is that what you wanted?
dude, I love being fucking just weirdly an asshole to cops when you can't get arrested and just fucking with them, you know, like doing little things. Like I love being at court and just standing like a little bit too close to the cop that arrested you outside in the hallway, you know, just staring at him. Just like that's like my favorite. I would eat that if I could eat that. I would drizzle it on food. Just like I love that so much. And I another one is when you're in the courtroom, just like staring at the prosecutor. Anytime you don't have to be addressing the judge, just turn and stare at the prosecutor, but not in like an intimidating way, but just in a way that makes him feel weird. Just
then
little,
offer him some weed.
It's little victories. It's little victories. One time I saw my prosecutor after I got out of court, and I was walking down the hallway, and he put on like sunglasses that were like wraparound like Ray-Ban like sunglasses from like the 90s.
Nerd alert.
Yeah, and he's walking towards me, and as we got right about even with each other, I jumped out in front of him and put my hands out, and I was like, "Cool shades, bro." And because I thought about it the whole time, that was all I could think of the whole time down the hallway. I was like, what can I do that'll freak this guy out that's definitely not illegal, you know? And that's all I could think of. So I just jumped in his path and went, "Cool shades, bro." And he like sidestepped around me all scared looking, and I was like, "I just like your shades." And he had just
you're like a different person outside of that courtroom.
He had just like convicted me of weed or some stupid shit. I forget what it was, but I got him, you know.
Yeah, you really showed him with that one.
I showed him what was what. He'll think twice next time.
About what?
I don't know. How great would it be to get that brought up in court, though, at your next court case? Like, does the prosecution have anything to add? Yes, Your Honor. The defendant, upon being convicted of his last charge when he appeared in this courtroom, he waited in the hallway for me to pass by and then yelled in my face, I quote, "Cool shades, bro." The judge is like, okay, we're throwing the fucking book at this guy.
Yeah. Well, that's where I draw the line.
I put up with a lot of nonsense. This is a very silly courtroom, but that will not fly, mister.
Don't you think
You're
the
just
judge would
lucky I
want to
wasn't
see the
around when it
shades?
happened.
Huh?
Don't you think the judge would want to see the shades?
Yes. Were they in fact
did
cool
you,
shades,
Did you
Mr.
bring
District
the shades
Attorney?
with you in the courtroom today?
I gotta get
Defendant, can you please identify the shades in the courtroom?
And then he tries them on and they don't fit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Your
You
Honor,
must have quit.
Your Honor, I move to dismiss all charges. He's like, look, we got sidetracked. You're actually on trial for attempted murder. We have to get back to your real case. I'm like, ah, fuck.
Waka waka.
The judge is like, there has been Freon leaking into this courtroom for 3.5 weeks, and we've all got to get out of here.
It's cold in here.
Yeah, it made it really cold.
Does anyone know a good Yankee cranky I could find?
What?
Huh?
That one went over everybody's head.
I think that's a term for a place you can get your penis wobbled. Why? Do you guys don't say that?
You know, the old yank and crank. Actually, it's probably a crank and yank.
No, I think it's like a massage. Isn't that what somebody once called a massage thing that you could get a fucking jerk job at?
Crank and yank.
The
I
jerk
don't know. A cranky
jerk job
Yankee.
shanty.
You knew it was a cranky Yankee. Abraham Lincoln. I wish he would have just kept his views to himself.
What do you need yourself a cranky and yankin'? Coming down to the jerk job shack.
What happened? Is Andrea drinking?
I was thinking that myself.
I only have one voice tonight.
Andrea,
You didn't answer the question.
I've had a little bit
Oh.
She hasn't
to drink.
had as much as I.
Yeah, well,
No.
that's usual.
Shut
Yeah.
up, Darcy.
Oh, I was talking poorly about Andrea's drinking skills.
dude, when did this show just become a bunch of fucking bitches?
Mm.
Babbling.
I don't know, but I don't have anything else to talk about.
Is that all you got?
I can't speak to women. If David Box were here, the ratio would be okay, but now I have to close out of this conversation.
Oh, shut up.
Andrea's very anti-woman.
Goodbye.
Andrea did she leave?
Sounds like it. Katie's laughing like she did something.
Or she just like moved her microphone real far away from her. She crossed her arms real proudly and said, "Goodbye."
Oh man, she's a
I don't get it.
funny little lump of shit.
That's what they say.
It's a good thing we
Oh,
didn't
she's
kill
back.
her while she was a child.
It's a good thing you didn't kill me while you had the chance.
We didn't ever successfully kill you.
Dude, we could have made it look like an accident too.
So much.
Yeah, and they would have believed
Except
us.
your conscience would have gotten to you.
I
Yeah.
know.
Like you
I would
did
have
that
turned
time.
us in. Katie
you
would have been like smoking a cigar. Nah, listen, this will all blow over. No,
You keep your mouth shut.
if we tell the truth now, maybe they'll be easy on us. Nah, look, the bitch deserved it.
That's crazy talk.
She was always babbling in that little crib of hers up above us, like she's better or something. We did the right thing. We wanted you dead so bad, Andrea.
Oh, I know.
We did. I'm not sure why.
No,
though.
I don't remember why at all either. We hated you so.
Infuriatingly cute.
That was probably it because we just had that instinct of cynicism that like you would come up in like some like sunflower dress, you know, like all like
Yeah,
cute
with your
like
hair all
with like
in
pig
braids
like
and shit.
pigtails or something. It's like, hey guys, I have like a little basket of turtles. Here you go. Ah. And we'd be like, get the fuck out of here, you piece of shit. But then it went way deeper. We'd be like, you know, oh yeah, we talked about this last time that we would be like, you know, you're not baptized, which means you're going to hell for eternity.
Yeah.
But
Wait, were
then,
you two baptized?
Yeah,
yes,
we were.
Yes, we're good.
Mm.
But we would
They really slacked off at the end there.
we would she had like her stuffed animals that all had imaginary personalities, and we would like attack that quite a bit and just be like, it's not real, Andrea. He's just a piece of cotton. And then Katie would, hold on, Andrea had, oh my God, I forgot about this.
I know where you're going.
I know exactly where you're going.
Andrea had a bear named Bobby, and he had a tear in his head. And because our parents were potheads, he had a tear in his head for 10 years. And Andrea would cry, and Katie would hold Bobby and poke her finger into his head and go, brain damage, brain damage, brain damage, brain damage.
Oh my God.
And then every time,
That was like a nightly routine.
yeah, and then
Yeah, it's time for Bobby's brain damage.
It did, yeah.
and then Andrea, we would tell her just like, dude, if you're talking to him now, like he's retarded now, like he's an idiot, like you can't, nothing, you're just making it up now. He can't even talk. He has so much brain damage. It was pretty cruel fucking with a young
Very
sibling.
cruel.
That's horrible.
Yeah, I'm surprised Andrea speaks to either one of us at all. It's pretty.
I'm
Jesus.
surprised I developed the ability to love.
Yeah, that's true too.
Oh,
How?
you did.
Wait, and Andrea, see what we created, like, because you're the most functional, best one of any of us, like by far.
She's got all kinds of money and stuff.
She's got money, and like her and David Box don't fight. Do you know that?
Never.
They have like
never.
a good relationship, and but when you're around them, you want to fucking throw up because it's like, I'm thinking about going to the store. Do you want anything, sweetie? And you're just like, shut up. Yuck.
Wait, David Box calls me Princess Baby, and sometimes Princess Baby Pie.
Oh my God.
So it's fucking disgusting. And
And I call him Lamb.
no,
Lamb.
but Andrea, you call him what?
Lammy Lamb.
Oh,
Hello, my
fuck
lammy
Christ. But listen, we created you.
Yeah.
Do you understand that?
I was a phoenix born of the ashes that you burned me into.
No.
It's different. No, it's different. It's different.
We tempered you exactly as we wanted to, and we created you.
Perfectly.
We created you in the image of our greatest qualities. We understood. we understood that we weren't perfect. You know what I mean? We understood that we never would be perfect, but we had a chance to mold our younger sibling through a rigorous regime of attacking her soul at its most base
Psychological
level,
torture.
and psychological torture,
And physical torture.
physical torture too. Yeah.
Oh,
We-
yeah.
Jesus.
Emotional torture.
No, the
I used to make Andrea hold her breath until I fell asleep because her breathing was too loud.
Yeah.
All right.
Hold
I've
your breath.
decided you can't have 3 kids. Only 2.
oh my god, it's
No,
still
but
so
wait.
funny too.
Could you imagine how bad our parents would have felt about themselves if they had stopped at 2?
What is that?
Yeah,
supposed to
that's
mean?
true.
No redeeming child. That's what I mean.
I'm the redeeming child.
Oh, really?
No,
Okay.
listen,
You just said I was the best one. You said it.
I didn't say that.
I
Vinny said that.
I think the greatest thing that we did was like, other people have probably done this as a joke, but we would legitimately go through with like deliberately doing something wrong and then both agreeing to just blame it on Andrea, and she'd be like, no, listen, I heard them talking, they fucking blamed this on me on purpose. We'd just be like, Andrea, you're such a liar, and we would just go through with it and never tell the truth. And then you would get in trouble. That's the cruelest. That's the word. Andrea, I don't understand. Like, you should have killed us both in our sleep for that shit.
Everybody in the family still thinks that Andrea is a liar because of that stuff.
She is a liar, though. That's the thing. Andrea is really a liar. She's a
I used
big
to lie
liar.
about petty things. That's the difference. I would lie about having candy or whether I brushed my teeth, but I would never lie about something bigger than that.
You
would.
Andrea,
I did lie about breaking my finger, but that was to protect Vinny. That wasn't because I wanted to lie.
No,
Wait,
that was
but when
my
Vinny
manipulative structure
But
behind that lie.
When Vinny admitted to Mom that the thing about you breaking your finger was all a lie and that he was totally at fault, Mom pulled you into the office and said, what do you want to tell me about breaking your finger? And you held on to the lie for like a long ass time.
The way Mom tells that story, it's you who held on to
No,
the lie.
That's what I heard.
No. She's got it twisted because I was listening.
Okay, so now your memory works.
Wait, no,
suddenly.
I remember this very, very clearly. Vinny confessed the sin to Mom. I was listening outside the office door and heard him confess to her. So when she called me in, I was like, well, the jig's up. Like, I got to tell the truth now. But you are the one that lied.
Yeah, but if that's true, it was all along, it was to protect Vinny. not to
Okay.
protect myself,
All right.
because
Hold
I
on.
hadn't done anything wrong.
Andrea, one time you were in the bathroom and you were like 5 and there was a bunch of candy on the table and it was all gone. And you came out of the bathroom and Dad was like, Andrea, did you eat all that candy that was on the table? And you were like, no. And you had your hands behind your back. And he's like, what's in your hands? Like, nothing. And when he finally got you to show your hands, you had like 6 fucking candy wrappers in your hands. Because you were smart enough not to throw them in the garbage can. Because you'd have been caught. And you were going to dispose of them somewhere else. You've been a liar since you were a tiny little girl. And another thing. Hold on. And another thing. Then one time, when you were like 16, you pulled a car out of the driveway and hit one of the neighbor's cars and like destroyed it.
Yeah.
And then lied
Oh,
about
I
that
forgot
for like
about that
months to the point that me and Katie here fucking sat with you one night, like drinking and being like, Andrea, listen, you can tell us. We'll help you get out of this situation somehow.
still
We're not gonna like tell on you. And you're just like, we totally believed you. That's what a psycho you
totally
are.
believed you.
You're,
Yeah.
dude,
No, it didn't
you're
go
a
on
co-
that long. No, it did not
Yes,
go on
it
that
did.
long.
Yes, it.
No,
Katie,
it didn't.
Katie.
It absolutely 100% did not
Yeah,
go
it
on
did.
for months. No, because I had to deal with the police almost immediately afterwards.
No, no,
It went
no.
on for like 2
Okay.
days. Literally,
Okay, fine.
maybe
Yeah,
2
yeah.
days.
Whatever.
Days.
But sometime in
Seemed
there,
like forever.
you spent a whole night lying to us
Yeah. That's
Why
true.
would she
Yeah.
tell you guys the truth?
because we would have
Yeah,
helped
all
her.
you
in
do
a-
is
It sounds like, from her point of view, you
No,
would have
no, no, no.
immediately ran to the police yourselves
Yeah,
and
Katie-
turned her in and said that she did something even worse.
Katie's favorite game, and she does this even as an adult, is she finds anything that might disrupt my credibility with our parents, and as soon as she finds it out, she is telling them about it.
Remember
She's
the-
texting or calling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember the time that you hopped the freight train?
Yeah. When I got on a freight train, before I even got off the freight train, Katie
I
was
ran
in the
inside.
bar.
Yeah, ran inside to the bar and found Dad. And I was like, Dad, Andrea just hopped a freight train with Keith Betty.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
That was a good one, though.
That was a good one,
Remember when we burned her stuffed animal on the it was a Pinky from Pinky and the Brain, and we burned it on the stove. Like, we were holding
Yeah.
it above the flame and it got singed, and Andrew was like, you guys burned this, and we were like, no, that's because you drool in your sleep and your drool like hardened on the thing and made it all fucking like hard like that. That's not from the fire. And
Pinky from
Yeah.
Pinky and the Brain?
yeah,
Yeah.
So nice, though.
we burned him.
Why would you do that?
We burned him to hurt you, and
It's probably all like, narf.
but then but then we denied it and convinced you that it was because you're disgusting and you drool on him all the time.
Yeah, you guys shouldn't be reminding me of all this stuff because I got more anger and a lot more power these days.
You don't have any power.
What else?
Can I borrow $500?
Yeah, I was about to say. How about a loan?
All right, whatever.
Okay, bye-bye.
Rock on, Andrea.
I will. Bye-bye.
Rock on, Katie.
Wait, what? Bye.
Rock
Bye.
on,
Bye.
Garth.
What?
Rock on, Darcy. Okay. Bye-bye.
See you later.
Okay, bye-bye.
This has been great.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Rock on.